Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for WWE NXT from last week, which was December 4th, 2019. Before I actually review the show itself, I want to go through some of the backstage and the bump stuff that, you know, um, typically happens, because they have some NXT related things. So, starting with backstage for December 3rd, 2019. We had the hosts, Booker T, Renee Young, Christian, and Paige. The intro was just kind of Renee Young going through everything that they were going to talk about. And the only real thing NXT that might possibly be NXT related that they discussed was the stat sheet where where I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy that hosts these um, kind of goes through all the big news in WWE. He talked about how Samoa Joe is now going to join the Raw commentary team and take Dio Madden's place, and Dio Madden is going to train again to be a professional wrestler, which is good. Um, and we also found out the big news, though, that had been reported for a couple of months. John Morrison has officially re signed with WWE. It had been reported a while back. We discussed it on the Wrestling Rundown. But now it's official because I even asked, like, you know, I heard the report, but did he actually sign? Well, he's officially signed, and this might be NXT related, um, depending on where he shows up, and I could see him showing up in NXT to kind of give NXT maybe like a ratings bump. Um, which I think would be the best idea for him. I think if he shows up on the main roster, he could be just as forgotten about as everybody else who recently has returned from his era, and just kind of just gets left as an afterthought. So I do hope he goes to NXT. I love to see him just tear it up with a ton of wrestlers in NXT, and I think it'd be awesome. Um, and he doesn't necessarily need to stay in NXT, but I think that'd be cool if he went to NXT. But we'll see. I always liked John Morrison. I liked his run in like 2010, 2011 when he was going for the WWE title and he was kind of breaking out in the main event scene. Um, I liked him, obviously. Um, when he was Johnny Nitro and the tag team with Joey Mercury and Melina was Eminem. I liked him when he was having those clinics with Jeff Hardy for the IC Championship, and the ladder matches and the cage matches and stuff. Um, and yeah, really, that's really it. And he's just his parkour wrestling. I mean, he's been a pretty big name since he's left. He went to Lucha Underground. He was there all 4 seasons, which I am fully convinced, by the way, now that Lucha Underground is going to close down because John Morrison was really the last guy that was there. He was obviously an Impact for a bit, and he went to AAA. So this could be a good thing, but I just hope he gets used right. But we'll see. But that's basically the biggest news from backstage. He was on the bump earlier today, which is Wednesday, December 11th, 2019, if you're watching this at a later date. And I haven't seen it yet, so I'll wait to see what he says. Then we had the bump from last week, which was aired the same date as NXT. We had the hosts, Caleb Braxton, Matt Camp, Evan T. Mack, Dan Volmayer, and Ryan Papola. We had some breaking news segments. We found out that Damian Priest has a back injury and he can't face Killian Dane on NXT. And we also find out that we were going to get Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai. And obviously that was a match that had been brewing because of Dakota Kai's heel turn at NXT TakeOver War Games 3. And then Keith Lee gets interviewed, and pretty much he talks about what his November has been like, and kind of his backstory and stuff. You can just easily go watch it. It was quite awesome, and it's stuff that I've already talked about, kind of. Then we had the actual show, and we had our proper NXT commentary team. Beth Phoenix, Mauro Ranallo, and Nigel McGuinness. It was good to see Mauro back. He hasn't lost a step, obviously. I mean, he's only been gone like a week, really, so obviously he wouldn't. Um, but it was good to see him back. I heard he got it, like I said in the last episode's review, I heard he got like a tremendous ovation when he came back, and I was happy to see him back. But Killian Dane just kicks it right off, and he comes out and cuts this fiery promo where he wants someone to come out and fight him since he can't fight Damian Priest. And Pete Dunne ends up coming out to fight him, and they have a match and they put on a clinic. Pete Dunne dominates in the beginning. He tries to go for the fingers of Killian Dane, but then Killian Dane gains control. And throughout much of the match, Pete Dunne's really trying to fight off the injuries from Survivor Series weekend when he had the match at War Games 3 and the NXT Championship match. But eventually his knee ends up going, and he gets cannonball into the steps, and Vader bombed, but Pete Dunne kicks out. Eventually, Pete Dunne gets him into a sleeper hold onto the on the turnbuckle, but Killian Dane just ends up falling, and he lands on Pete Dunne, and Killian Dane uses this to get the pinfall and get the win. And I was fine with this. Killian Dane hasn't won a big match in a while, and you can obviously use this to continue this feud. So I was fine with this. And I actually liked the finish. I thought it was quite creative. So I give the match 4 stars. It was great stuff. Then Dakota Kai gets interviewed, and she said that she doesn't care about anybody anymore, and she's just going to destroy Rhea Ripley. Then we had a promo segment from Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong. They talk about how they've had the best month of any group in WWE history, and say that if you thought November was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to continue to run NXT, and they just gloat. And they call out Finn Balor because they're upset that, he Pele kicked Adam Cole, and he wants to know whose side he's on. And instead, Keith Lee comes out, and they all make fun of him because he had a breakout moment at Survivor Series, but they were just that. They were just moments. He didn't get the victories that he needed to get. So Keith Lee says that he did put them away at War Games, and he says that he wants to know whose title he's coming after. And this leads to Fish, O'Reilly, and Cole attacking him. Keith Lee, though, fights him off, and they take off. And then eventually Tommaso Ciampa runs out and attacks him, and they end up taking off through the crowd, and that was it. I thought the segment was great. It was really effective, and it led to the main event of the show. Xia Lee's backstage, and she said that she's sick and tired of Shayna Baszler bullying people, and said that she's going to do something about it on the show. We had a Kushida video package. He talks about his injury, and it was so great. He used the time to go to his home to his family, and it reminded him pretty much of why he's a professional wrestler. I thought it was awesome. We had Xia Lee versus Shayna Baszler. I thought this match was good stuff. Xia Lee got some offense in, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was mainly hope spots. The biggest thing that she does in this match is a power bomb and nothing more. Eventually, Shayna Baszler beats her with the Kirifuda clutch, and that was it. I thought it was a good way to make Shayna Baszler look strong and kind of give something to Xia Lee. So I gave it 3 stars. It was good stuff. And afterwards, she's even determined and said that one day she's going to get a revenge on Shayna Baszler and be NXT Women's Champion. Cassius Ohno's outside, and he said that he's no longer called the Knockout Artist. He's calling himself the best British wrestler in the business. And he says that he's here to give a preview of Worlds Collide, because at Worlds Collide it's going to be NXT versus NXT UK. So there you go. I'd imagine NXT will beat NXT UK at Worlds Collide, because that would be really stupid if NXT could beat Raw and SmackDown, but not UK. And this isn't trash in UK, but Raw and SmackDown are on premiere shows week to week, and NXT UK is really not that big of a thing, really. I mean, I don't really like NXT UK all that much. Obviously, if you've been watching my videos on it, um, but it really is the truth. I mean, I'm putting bias aside. That's really true. It would be really stupid. Plus, NXT, like I said, is the thin that's going up against AEW and stuff like that. So, um, next we had Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler with Jackson Riker inside versus Leon Rump and Atlantis. It's a squash. Blake and Cutler win um, with their finish. Which is the memory that remains. And afterwards, Jackson Riker chokeslam at Atlantis on the apron. Then we had Rhea Ripley. The match was 2 3/4 hours. I thought it did the job that it needed to do. Then we had Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai. The match never happens. Rhea Ripley reveals that she has something big up her sleeve, and it was Mia Yim. Mia Yim returns, and she basically beats the crap out of Dakota Kai. She beats her up all over the ring, beats her up all over on the outside, and they fight to the back, and eventually Dakota Kai just runs away. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley's still out there, and Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir come out, and they beat down Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley does the best she can to fight them off, but Shayna Baszler gets him into the Kirifuda Clutch, and Rhea Ripley continuously breaks it, but eventually, when she's at the ropes, Duke and Shafir hold her arms so that way she can't grab onto the ropes, and she just ends up passing out. And then Shayna Baszler grabs a microphone and says that she will give her an NXT Women's title match. And on December 18th, we're going to have that match. I'm excited for it. I think it will be an awesome NXT title match. And I hope that's where Rhea Ripley wins the title, because I think it's time for Rhea Ripley to win the title. Like I said before, the only reason I could see Shayna Baszler keeping it is if they want her to break Asuka's longest reigning record, but I really think that they should give it to Rhea Ripley. She's red hot. She's come off that War Games win, and she's come off that Survivor Series win, and there's going to be no other opportune time. If there was a takeover in January, I would say wait till then, but I think you need to do it on the 18th episode of NXT. I think you need to do a title change too. I know they did a title change when Roderick Strong won the North American title, but you really need to do a title change on NXT, because it will also show the fans that you need to watch NXT, because the title could change hands. This is for the people that just switched to AEW. So we'll see what happens. Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee get interviewed, and we find out that they're going to be in the main event in a 6-man tag against Fish, against O'Reilly, Cole, and Strawn. And they have to pick a tag team partner, and they pick Dominik Dijakovic. Finn Balor has a promo, and basically he says that he's not aligned with anybody in NXT, and he's here just for himself. And he said that he's the most destructive superstar in all of WWE, and he puts out all the people that he's put down. And he also says that, like I said, my future is my past, referencing that he wants to go after the NXT title. Then we had a video package for Isaiah Swerve Scott, just kind of getting to know him. Then we had an interpromotional brand versus brand match. NXT UK's Cassius Ohno versus NXT's Matt Riddle. This was revisiting the feud from last year. This match was very good. You could clearly see that Matt Riddle had to slow down for Cassius Ohno because he didn't wrestle as fast. Like the biggest example I can think of is he usually has this sequence where he does a powerbomb into a Fatal Flash knee strike into a senton, and he does that all in like a second. But he had, you could see like it took him a little bit longer for him to hit that move. But eventually, he wins with a Bro Derek. but I thought the match was very good. I thought Cassius Ohno actually had a very good match. You could see that he was a little bit gassed, but I thought, it was very good stuff. I give it 3 3/4. It's the best Cassius Ohno match I've seen in a bit. So yeah, and it was a nice kind of like way to kind of give us a preview of Worlds Collide. And I don't know how they're gonna do Worlds Collide because NXT UK is not live every week. So the only thing I can really see like NXT doing overseas is at NXT UK Takeover Coda. If I could see something happening where after the main event, NXT invades it. Um, but that's it. I think everything's just gonna happen on NXT. Um, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see the matchups we'll get. I'd be more excited about it if NXT UK was as good as it was like earlier this year, like right before Blackpool or um, before Cardiff at least, because and if NXT wasn't on USA Network, because it's obvious NXT is gonna win. Like if NXT doesn't win overall, then it's wicked stupid, and I will be mad about that. But we'll see. Afterwards, Cassius Ohno says that he's still the best British wrestler and that, Matt Riddle didn't out-wrestle him. He just outstriked him. Then we were supposed to have Kushida versus Raul Mendoza, but Cameron Grimes hits a double stomp on Raul Mendoza while he's making his entrance and said he's going to face him instead. And they proceed to have a pretty good little match. I think they want to do a little bit of a program, so the match wasn't that long. Kushida won with a roll up, and yeah, it was pretty good. I give it 3 1/4. I liked it. But good way to bring back Kushida. Then it showed a video package for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match that we're going to have on this December 11th, which has already happened, episode. And it's going to be Lio Rush defending against Angel Garza. We're finally going to get that match. I'm excited about that. They did like little promos where Lio Rush was obsessed that he messed with his family and that Angel Garza made it personal by putting his family out there and that he's been ducking him. So I thought that was very good stuff. Then we had the main event. It was Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and Tommaso Ciampa versus Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I thought it was kind of basically a War Games match minus 2 of the competitors. It was great stuff. Undisputed Era dominate, and they get the heat on Dijakovic, and they work over his leg. Eventually, Ciampa gets the hot tag, and they cut him down, and then Keith Lee gets the hot tag, and all types of chaos ensues, and eventually Finn Balor pops up out of nowhere. He drop kicks Keith Lee, and the ref takes a bump, and then he hits the 1916 into a DDT onto Tommaso Ciampa. But then Keith Lee just pops up out of nowhere and takes out Finn Balor with a Spirit Bomb, which was cool. And then he hits a jackhammer onto Adam Cole for the win. And yeah, it was great. And then afterwards, William Regal comes out and announces a number 1 contenders match for the NXT Championship between Finn Balor, Keith Lee, and Tommaso Ciampa, which I'm very excited about. And I don't really know who could take that victory because they really all could face him. And the winner of that match is going to face Adam Cole for the NXT title on the December 18th episode. I think Keith Lee might take it. I think Keith Lee has had a lot of momentum behind him lately with his Survivor Series performance and his War Games performance, that I think they're going to have Keith Lee take it. And I don't think he'll win the title, but I think he'll have a very good showing in that match. Because I think they could do Finn Balor, but I think it's too soon for that, and I don't think you want to do heel versus heel. And you could do Tommaso Ciampa, but I think you should save that match for NXT Takeover not New Orleans, what's it called? Portland, um, in February. So I think we're gonna get Keith Lee winning, and he can pin Ciampa and it won't hurt anybody. I don't think he's gonna pin Finn. I think he'll pin Tommaso Ciampa. But that was NXT for December 11th, 2019. I thought this was a great, an awesome show. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a little bit more than AEW, I think, just because I thought stuff here had more consequence. So I'm gonna give it an A plus, and I'm gonna give it a 97 out of 100. It wasn't quite perfect, but pretty goddamn close. Um, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought we had some awesome matches on it. I thought they did a good job of building to like the next 2 weeks of NXT. Um, and I thought we had some awesome stuff on it. So I'll give it an A plus. And that's basically it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell. So that way every time I upload a video, you're going to get the notifications on it. And I've recorded a lot of videos, so you'll probably get, I've had a lot of notifications right when I upload this stuff. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.